I'll make it rain.
All right.
I'll make it rain on it.
Come on. Hey, that was one of Fat Joe's last hits. Telling you. You got to put out
I'm
the
a Fat
hits.
Joe guy. You a Fat Joe guy? We Fat Joe guy?
I love Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? Weight loss journey. You know what I'm saying? Hosting a show on Star. Shout out to him. Anyway.
Ozempians.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Ozempians.
Pay for play, week 11.
Nah. You gotta start over. Don't stop it. Just like, well, I'll just shut the fuck up and we'll cut the beginning, yo.
Why can't we shut up?
We can't fucking start like that. Like, my bad.
Oh no, that's it.
Yeah, but what are you talking about?
At 1 minute.
There we go. Look, because this is the thing. That class action lawsuit, boy, in 20 years, boy, they finna be hitting, boy. But pay for play, week 11. It's your boys in the building, man. Sosa, Sam, and Roddy. Please give us a follow at Pay for Play on Twitter. Follow all of our individual pages. I'm at Roddy404 on Twitter /X. Sam has his at right there at Dunbrain Picks, and so does Sosa at Sosa Picks. Week 11, we have, a considerable amount to review. We had our first, college football playoff rankings on Tuesday, probably the most important event of Tuesday. Nothing else happened in the world. So we'll get into that. We'll get into week 11. But first and foremost, Sam, starting with you, how you doing, brother?
Doing well. As you're watching this, I will be tailgating for IU Michigan. So gonna be a fun Saturday. Gotta go watch the Hoosiers kick Michigan's ass, and then watch IU or LSU Alabama on the way home in the car. It's going to be a fun day. Looking forward to it. It's going to be good weather, good tailgate, probably breaking out some pastelaya up there. So teaching the Hoosiers how it's done.
There we go. Bring a little Cajun flavor out there in Indiana. We love it. We love to hear it. Sosa, how you feeling?
Amazing, man. All of my teams are playing relevant sports. It feels amazing. It's a great place to be, man. How about you? How are you? How's your life outside of having the cutest baby on earth?
Look, man, he's doing well, so that's all that I care about. But I'm doing well. I mean, this show is the only reason I have happiness in life, because I get to talk about a relevant team. I cheer for the Atlanta Hawks. I cheer for the New Orleans Saints. So, you feel me? Like, I'm a Georgia State Panther. I could be better sports-wise, but I got my dogs, and we're going to definitely talk about them a little bit later. But we will go ahead and get into the show. We got a special guest joining us as well for our LSU and Alabama preview, so please be sure to stay tuned for that. As Sam said, we are recording early, so, some of these plays might be a little bit outdated, so please look at the lines before you pick them, okay? Just be wary. I'll probably be active on the Twitter page in the morning on Saturday if anything changes or if we add anything. So, again, follow us at Pay for Play. Please like this video, collapse the YouTube video so we can see your likes. Okay, so let's get into it. Week 11. Really week 10 review. I'm sorry. I messed that up. Totally messed that up. Let me fix it. Week 10 review. All right. So I think week 10 was very unhinged in certain areas. Obviously, I had a heart attack because my quarterback keeps throwing interceptions. I'm so glad he can't come back. Let me just say that. It's going to be Jaden Rashada's season as soon as the month of February hits. Don't you worry, brother. So it's tough for me, but, I'm all right. I'm doing okay. So, Sam, do you have anything week 10 wise? Before you go, Sam, we got our guy Brett. He is in the building. All right. Our special guest, a host from the Pot of Gold podcast, LSU podcast, all things LSU. Brett, how you doing, man?
What's up, boys? Pleasure to be here. Appreciate the invite. How we doing?
Absolutely. We're doing good.
Amazing.
We're doing good, man.
Amazing.
Look, we're just going over this week 10 in college football. I know LSU was off, so you're the guest. Do you have any, things you want to review over week 10? We had some interesting games, interesting matchups. How were you feeling?
Man, was it kind of like extremely fun and devastating to watch A&M get taken to the woodshed. Like as much as I enjoyed it, I'm like, that could have been me. Like that should have been me.
It was us for a half.
It was. And I mean, look, LSU did not, we're not circling back to week 9 or whatever, but you can't do those things on the road and beat a team like A&M in that environment. So they didn't deserve to win, but like I just knew A&M wasn't good. And it was like, all the media is like, oh, Elko, like, oh, this guy's so great. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I know this isn't great job year 1, whatever, but it's just one of those things where it's like now he's the best coach in America, right? Because he beat up on LSU and the score looks worse than it was. And I don't know. It's just always nice to watch them lose.
Yeah, I love it. I would agree.
On the bright side, I told everybody they were going to lose.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was it's a tough spot.
No, not y'all.
No.
Yeah, A&M going to South Carolina. Yeah, for sure.
That's a tough spot for A&M to have to. I mean, literally to A&M, this is a Super Bowl type game against LSU, and then they went into a tough environment and did the same shit you can't do on the road in those environments to win a game.
Yeah. So my boy Beamer singing "When I See You" to his wife for her birthday after the game. That was the highlight of the week. What?
I want to hate Beamer. He's a guy that like I want to hate, and I just find myself kind of liking him.
He's good. He's good in this spot though. Like South Carolina is not really like a threat to anybody right now. So like until they like take a next step, he's just like fun to have in the league.
If anything, he understands the pulse of his team. I'll give him that. He definitely knows how to tap into that.
He's the perfect like mid-major SEC type coach. Like we're not getting carried away and giving him an Alabama type job, but like you're in that South Carolina, Missouri part of the conference, and I think he'll be lingering around there. If you're Florida, exactly. would you sign up for Napier? Not Napier, would you sign up for Beamer right now?
Well, absolutely. Look, that's the funny thing from I guess this is not technically week 10, but
that's where I was going to go with it, Roddy. We can rejoice.
I've never seen a press review for them to assure you that the coach is not getting fired. Like when haven't we seen hey, not fired?
I mean, well, you know what? Part of it might be Lagway getting hurt. I'm not just Lagway getting hurt. It's like, well, you stuck with him for another year. Fuck it. That's only thing I could think of. I know people are talking about the money. It's never really an issue with money. These programs have so much in the program, especially from like other sports. And Florida's got money. They just don't. They're just being cheap. And would I want Beamer at Florida? I think the problem with that is that he would be a perfect fit at Florida because they don't want to cut him a big check.
Yeah, I honestly hadn't thought of it until it just like came out because I was thinking about the whole like AD vote of confidence. It's like literally never gone well in the history of football of the AD or a GM being like, this is our guy. And then 3 weeks later, they're always fired. And so I don't know, it just kind of popped in my head and I was like, holy shit, like Florida would be a really good spot for Beamer.
It's normally not written in ink the way Florida.
But if you're Beamer, you take that.
Oh yeah.
I think you have to.
Florida's still a desirable job. They're going to take care of you. Listen. If anyone should be a candidate for a job, it should be your boy Sam. Like he should be the number one name on everybody's list. Stignet. He should be the number one name on every major program that's looking for a coach's. Because right now today, Signetti.
Indiana. There we go. I was trying to tie LSU into this. I was like, do people want Blake Baker bad?
Oh God. Yeah, the man's 62. His wife loves Bloomington. They just bought like a $2.5 million house.
You been to Gainesville?
shithole.
Huh?
It's not that
Shithole.
impressive.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive, but it's nice.
That's cool.
They ain't, I keep them clean. They tans though.
Close to close to Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Go an hour away from Jacksonville Beach. A couple 45 minutes away from Daytona. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know.
Listen, I just if you're gonna give a vote of confidence to Napier, either he better be there next year or you better be prepared to spend some serious money. That's how I feel.
The real problem with this is that they're coming off a Georgia game. They get to go play Texas, and then LSU comes to play. It's like it's not getting any easier. It's like you're anticipating if you go 1-1 over the next two, you're hanging a banner. So I don't know. It's Florida's
thankfully they're going to
strange,
break with Florida State at the end of the year now.
Yeah.
which unbelievable. It's still. Why does LSU have to play them and lose twice, and then they're the worst team in football? It drives me insane.
They are like I picked them last week on the money line like an idiot because Mac Brown had never beaten his alma mater, but they might win one game, bro. Like I'm so serious. Like they might win one game.
Do they have a
UNC?
bye game at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Max got to retire, man. Max just got to go back to retire. He's done enough for the program. I don't think anybody would be upset at Mac Brown retiring. He brought that he breathed life into that program.
He did a lot better than I definitely thought. I thought him and Les Miles would be hand in hand, being 3 years dumpster fire and out. So shout out to him. But yeah, it's time.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He just got to just right off into the sunset. No one will be mad. You put multiple quarterbacks in the NFL, bunch of skill players, bunch of defensive players. You done built the football program to heights that you never even think, because it's a basketball school at the end of the day. Everyone knows no one's signing up for UNC football. It's all about the basketball program at the end of the day.
Yeah. And you got one of the best comeback wins of all time. You were the head coach for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's solidified. So yeah, that was week 10, but we did have.
I just remembered Penn State and Ohio State was last week. That feels like forever ago. Penn State are such frauds. Like, we can move on. I don't mean to like derail your show here, but I was trying to scroll through last week and I was just like, oh yeah, Penn State dirtbag ass is like right there.
Look, Brett, I'm glad you said that. James Franklin.
James
Franklin.
Down the line of recruits. Sorry we couldn't get it done there for you, guys. Sorry we couldn't get it done there. Sorry we couldn't get it.
I have had my flag planted in the James Franklin is the most overrated human on the planet for as long as the podcast has been going on.
Lincoln Riley and Lane Kiffin are definitely in that conversation, respectfully.
Lincoln just lost to Washington.
Lincoln might be worse than Franklin. At least Franklin's like 10 wins. You're gonna get 10 wins.
Yeah, but it's more soul crushing when it's the same shit every year of like, we're awesome. Oh, actually, we can't win the big game. And it's just like at some point you have to just hope. It's like, do you want to hang out in mediocrity for forever? Or do you want to hope that like this system or this culture that James Franklin's built, you can like backpack that into this young gun offensive coordinator style guy? I don't know.
My question to you is this. What's the difference between Franklin? I mean, obviously Lanning hasn't been there that long at Oregon, right? But this is my thing, is that what is the difference between the majority of the guys at these Power 5 schools who at the end of the day don't win shit, right? And they get the benefit of the doubt because they continuously put players in the NFL. Like that's the fine line we're teetering now. Right? Because
I agree with you. It kind of goes to the whole theory that I was an idiot, but for the last 3 years I've been like hammering home to Michael that everyone sucks. It's just like there's no such thing as these 2019 LSU or these just fucking dominant wagons. With Saban gone, it's just in the NIL and what all of this transfer portal shit has created. Everyone kind of sucks. And I think that's kind of how it is with coaching. It's like we can say Brian Kelly's great. He makes dumbass decisions. We can say Lane Kiffin's awesome. He never wins a big game. He makes dumb dumb decisions. It's like, I think everyone just kind of sucks. And it's like some of these coaches get him put in a perfect position, just like a quarterback recruit might be awesome, but goes to the wrong spot, goes to the wrong OC. If Jaden Daniels was in Chicago right now, I doubt he would be doing as good as he's doing. Like, I think fit matters so much in college football that no one really talks about because Saban had just been dominant for so long. But it really is like so dependent. Like, you think Lamar Jackson would have been awesome at 25 other teams in the NFL? He went to a place where an OC was willing to build an offense around him and not be like, fuck, this is what we run, roll out, smash, like fit it to this. It's like, no, dude, just be you. And I kind of think that just kind of mixes with coaches and teams and cultures and players, and college football is like living on this razor's edge. And that's just the way it is. Everyone sucks. Maybe Georgia's good, but they kind of suck too.
Look, don't get me started with those.
Carson Beck sucks. Like, I'm sorry. That dude's going to dagger my soul at some point. Like, let's say LSU plays them in the SEC championship. He's going to dagger me, but he also fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to curse. I don't know if we're,
Oh, no, you're good. Let it fly. Let it fly. I'm going to get into him later. Don't you worry, brother. I'm gonna get into him later. Pause. Like,
just everyone is so flawed that it's just like it's anyone's game. And like, shit, dude, James Franklin can still sneak his ass into the playoffs, get a favorable spot, play a coach or play a team that's quarterbacks hurt. Like, shit is gonna happen. Weird. Like, Notre Dame loses at home and they're just hanging out. The whatever, South Dakota State, new whatever, Northern Iowa.
Relax. chill on Notre Dame.
Look, I didn't.
You gotta chill on Notre Dame, brother.
Notre Dame's the same as everyone. They suck, but they're also right in the mix.
I didn't get
best defense in America, even with two of our stars out. We know. Y'all wish y'all had a defense like that, don't you?
Hey,
y'all wish y'all had a defense like that.
Hey,
sign me up.
I packed that thing. That's all
I'm not anti Notre Dame. I do think it's kind of weird to live in a college football world where you can lose to. I still can't come up with a team. Who the hell did they lose to? Northern Iowa, Illinois, the Salukis.
Northern Illinois, the Salukis.
Black and red. I knew exactly.
No, that's Southern Illinois, bro.
All right.
No, yeah, that's
I'm an asshole.
That's Southern Illinois.
But like, and then they're just like sitting there, like right in the playoffs.
Like, hold on. What is North? Now I can see. Now I'm
the Wolfpack
in the rabbit.
Huskies.
Yeah,
no.
Wolfpack, some type of wild dog.
It's some sort of wild dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is what I do. I derail shows. So just enjoy.
It's the Huskies. It's the Huskies.
The Huskies.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how you know they're ass though. Is that they're the same as like the national champions of basketball. Nobody gave a fuck about them being the same. They're definitely not close to UConn. They're some different Huskies. Oh, look at these rankings. Look at how we got fucking hosed. Imagine BYU being better than us. Unfucking believable. They haven't even played anyone.
That's what I was gonna say. So, do we have any problems here? I mean, I see a couple maybe in my
I have an
opinion,
observation.
Okay, observation. Go ahead.
Brett, could you imagine not being the best team in your own state? Because I couldn't imagine that.
It hadn't happened in my lifetime, I don't think.
Is this what we're doing? You're a state school. You're a fucking state school, bro. Welcome to the party, brother. It's been a while. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I think ULM definitely got hosed here, if we were going to be honest. I mean, come on. Like, we don't got much of a selection down there in Louisiana other than LSU. So, but, yeah. I mean, when I'm looking at this, I have one question for all three of you. Why the fuck is Missouri still in here? I have a – why? One of y'all explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. Why?
They have a very cool logo.
Okay.
I think it's just really easy. The problem with this is that you have this committee of dudes and, old ADs and whoever. I can't imagine they're just grinding like the multi-quad box YouTube TV setup all day. Like, it's just Missouri is such an easy team to be like, well, their quarterback got hurt. Like they would have been with Bama, and like, they were good last year. It's just so easy to just like, fuck, throw Missouri right in there. Like, we haven't seen them a ton, but I bet if they played the 8th best team of the Big Ten, they'd beat them up. I really think it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
the committee shows time and time again that they really have no semblance to how they rank the teams.
It's insane.
They just kind of copy and paste what AP poll has, maybe change a few spots, and then they move the goalposts on what they value in each team.
Yeah, and they really do set it up based on the matchups going, for the rest of the season. If A team loses to B team, then maybe C team can get back in it, or if C team beats A team, yada yada yada. So, I mean, that's my only real super gripe here. I mean, I think Tennessee is also getting the Bama tax, if we're being honest. Like,
yeah, they've looked pretty bad, like at times. It hasn't been that great.
You want to You want to talk about somebody's watch being fake? We can get Nico on the phone immediately. He sucks. We need to just not. I lied about him after about 3 weeks. I was lying. He fucking stinks, bro. And maybe it's because the receivers aren't good, and Heupel's just, you just need NFL receivers now if you want to be a good fucking quarterback in college. Now, is that what it is? You just need to have like 3 dudes that are going to the NFL, and then you'll be a good fucking quarterback. Is that how it works?
It works for LSU. I can tell you that.
That's clearly the case now, right? That's clearly how it's trying to. Shedeur Sanders, NFL. You see where I'm going? Which is probably why Luther Burton is saving Missouri in the top 25. It's like, well, they still got him. I don't know.
Yeah. Tennessee is a very weird team, but like sitting here looking at this, it's like everyone wants to put Oregon on their own, and like that's fair. I've seen Oregon look really bad this year, but that's fair. Like Oregon is good. I don't know of any of these teams who's better than who. Like it's just literally such a coin toss. I think Notre Dame could beat Miami, and I think Miami could beat Texas. Like I don't know the answer. Like if we were ever going to start this 12-team playoff, and like it's been really fun this year. I'm still a little skeptical. We'll see how it plays out. But like, what a fun year to do it, because I don't know who of any of these teams is like definitely going to beat the other. It's just nice that Bama's not king of the castle. Kirby's on top. Like, sure, Georgia's like legit, but this is not some like pack it in, go home Georgia team. Like it's over. Ohio State looks pretty solid at times. Like, And then again, everyone sucks. And it's like, I think LSU could beat every one of these teams.
Yeah. And I think that's what they wanted to, because at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, the committee knows that they have a TV show to produce at the end of the day. Like they know that they have to put 12 teams in that on merit deserve to be there, but they also have to be entertaining. Right. And we also have to know some of these names. So
it's a TV show until the last 2 weeks of the season, whenever those rankings actually matter. Because right now it doesn't fucking matter. Like, games are going to play themselves out. I don't know if I'm sounding like a homer here, Brent. I don't know if you know. I'm from Indiana. My mom cheered at IU, so have some blood with IU. I think if any other team or any other logo has their resume, they are ranked higher.
No, I 1,000% agree. Like we can argue strength of schedule. It doesn't matter. Teams with a loss are ranked higher than them. Like that's fair. I still would say I don't know if they're good. Like I'm just still uncertain. Like they look good, but then again, I'm just like I don't know what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, you can only play the teams in front of you, and they're beating the shit out of everybody.
It's fair.
So,
but again, I think you have a chance to win your conference championship, catch your bye. If not, you're probably getting a home game or a favorable matchup. Like, I don't know. I think it would be upsetting if they were like 12-13, because that would be like, hey, we really want to keep you out. Like 8-8's fine. I agree. I would put them over Tennessee. That one hurt. I just think Penn State's too high. Like Penn State hasn't shown anything either.
Yeah, well, and speaking of the Indiana point, we just did this with Michigan last year. We can look at their schedule and what they did last year, and they were at 2. They didn't fall out of the top 4.
I
Go.
think if you flipped Penn State and Indiana at 6, Penn State at 8, I think that would be that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah,
But
I
other
think
than that,
BYU should be exactly where Penn State and Tennessee are. If you flip flop those in the 2 order, I'm fine with it. I mean, I personally would put IU in the top 5. I mean, Texas has a bad loss at home where the quarterback looked like, I mean, yeah, maybe he's hurt. Well, cool. But you got the call. You know what I mean? You got everything working in your favor. The quarterback threw all the interceptions on the other side, and you still got beat by 2 touchdowns at the crib. Like,
that was one of the weirder games ever. Like it felt
It went on forever.
Yeah, Carson
my-
Beck
yeah,
had no want to win that game, and George was like, "Too bad, buddy, too bad."
Yeah. And that's my thing with Ooh, I promise we getting into him. Anyway, let's get going with the games this week. Sorry, Paul. Anyway, Michigan and Indiana. Sam will be live on the sidelines with his reporter mic and a beer. Definitely not TV ready. I know he's gonna be lit. 14.5, boys. Oof. That's where we at with Michigan this year. I mean, I'll start with you, Sosa. Do you have any inklings of how this game is going to go? Like, I mean, a lot of people expect it to go one way, but is there a chance for Michigan?
Absolutely not. I don't see it, brother. What's there to say about this football team at this point, man? Indiana is the goods, right? I think everything's lined up for them to face off against Ohio. They play Ohio State next week.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks. They play Ohio State in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, next week. I thought.
It's not next
They
week.
have a bye then the week.
Oh,
So that's their next opponent. Okay, fair
Yes.
enough.
Gotcha.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, Michigan is good in the trenches. They'll be able to hold up for some time, maybe early, maybe get through a half because they're still good in the trenches. But they have a superior football team. Indiana has a superior football team from top to bottom, and you just got to hope that Michigan can steal that quarterback from you guys.
Good luck.
Ain't happening.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get some Bill Gates money, brother. Brett, how you feeling about this one?
Only in Michigan.
There's nothing more fun than when you pick a really shitty team to beat a good team and it actually works. So I'm picking Michigan 14.5. It's like, if you're ever going to be in one of those games, you're going to lose. Indiana type team is going to lose to a team that maybe can match up and be more athletic in a few positions than teams that they've seen so far. I hate the pick. It's one of those that's like, if you're scrolling them Saturday morning looking for a bet, you're like, taking Indiana. That's what they want. So give me Michigan, give me the points, and y'all never see me again. So I'm either going to look like a genius or you're going to be like, that dude was terrible.
We're going to probably invite you back next week. You've earned yourself a spot at the table next week, brother. Brad,
There we go.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, man, it's been fun.
Sam, how you feeling, man?
It's going to be a fun game. I'm excited to go. I look at it more in the view of anytime we mention Indiana on this show, it's been more like they're taking that next step up in competition. And I think this is the next step. Like, you're playing against a team that has real dudes on the line of scrimmage and NFL players on defense. And this offense has been on fire. They've scored 40. They've scored 30 plus in every game. They've scored 40 in almost every single one. So it's the next big test for them. 9-0 against the spread. You won't see me fading that. So yeah, Indiana minus 14.5.
And that's what I love.
Feel. Yeah, I mean, you got to stay on it. So yeah, I'll be riding Indiana. I'll be in the building. So I think they pull away late. Curtis Rourke is just a way better quarterback than anything Michigan's put on the field.
I will say, you handle Michigan, do your job, cover the spread, then I think you get to be able to be a little louder about this. We're getting screwed in the rankings talk. Like, if we eke out a win here, it's like, I don't want to be hearing we should be number 5 or number 6 next week. It's like, hey, this is your opportunity to kind of go middle finger to the committee and say, put us up there. Give me liberty or give me debt.
There we go. There we go. And I look, that team total is very alive. I don't know what it is, Sam.
Oh,
but
I do have that as an official play as well. Indiana team total over 33.5.
Oh, they might try to put a 50 ball on them if they can.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where like Indiana's not good every year in and year out. They've taken their ass kickings from a school like Michigan. You kind of exercise those demons in a game like this whenever you
The
get your
Les
shot.
Miles fuck you tour. Yes.
At the crib too. Yeah, I agree. I would lean Indiana as well. I don't have an official play on this one. I'll be watching this one in support of Sam and the Hoosiers. So we'll see what happens with that one. But
I'm rooting for you. Let's be clear. I'll root for you. I'll just give you Michigan because
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to, you know what I'm saying, be a little combative, but still, beat us by 14 points or less. That's all we care about. All right. Anyway, we're going to beautiful West Texas, baby. Lubbock. The Colorado Buffaloes are pulling up off a bye. Texas Tech with a big win last week. Obviously, Colorado sneaking around. Sosa had his Colorado rant last week. Sneaking around.
lingering.
Very much so. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, at this point, I think that the Big 12 is only going to get one team in, just based off of the landscape of every other conference. I think they're going to get their champion in, and that's it. But if you're looking at this game, I'm looking at Texas Tech's pass defense, and I'm saying, ooh, they stink. They're ranked 100th in the nation in yards per game allowed. So I only got one official play on this one. I got my boy. Where's his name? Jimmy Horn Jr. Now, I know LeJohntay has been a popular spot for people because a lot of the coaching staff did give him, a boost, and, we're saying they expected big things of him. But I think Jimmy Horn, the only time he hasn't performed, I mean, his receiving prop is at 36.5. I'm willing to take he gets, 3-4 targets and gets to the 50 range pretty easily with the team that he's facing. So that's what I'm on. I think Colorado is in a similar position where they're going to want to start putting up a couple style points here as well. So, in terms of the spread, the 4 is a little nasty, but I wouldn't be mad at you if you take that 4. So, Sam, we'll start with you. How you feeling about this one?
I'll go Colorado with the 4. Won't watch this game. We'll probably just be box score watching. So, I think just the coming off an emotional high, even though they're coming back to play in Texas at Texas Tech. Colorado's coming off a bye. They're fresh. They're reloaded. I feel like that's going to be a good spot for them against a bad pass defense. And yeah, I'll take Colorado with the 4 on that one.
Okay, I feel you. Brett, how you feeling?
It feels like it should be against the law that this game doesn't kick off at like 8 p.m. Like, why? What are we doing with the 3 p.m. kickoff for a game in Lubbock against Colorado? Like, that's what everyone should be watching as they finish up the LSU Bama, whatever other night games are on, and Saturday night. Like, I would probably look at the over. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't been locked into Texas Tech football much this year. But it feels like I always just want things to get out of hand in Lubbock. And I feel like I convince myself that it's still like Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, Cliff Kingsbury days of just like anything can happen when that's maybe not even the case. But yeah, give me the over. If you made me bet it, I would take Colorado.
Oh, no, don't you worry, brother. You haven't missed nothing. Everything's pretty much the same. Everything's pretty much the same. There's no defense. Offenses, you know what I'm saying? They're going to entertain you. They might not be the greatest, but that really
was one of my favorite. Like, that's like one of the reasons I love college football. It was like growing up in that Texas Tech. You were just like, what is happening? This is not like any other football I watch. These dudes just air it out all day. And it was just video game football before football became video game football.
People don't understand the impact of Mike Leach to college football. Oh, yeah. They do not.
With a little piece of paper like that big.
Facts. It's crazy that like his coaching tree is one of the most insane coaching trees ever. And just like you said, it's like what you remember. It's like every quarterback he had became an offensive coordinator. Every single one, and it's like it's because the offense gives you it comes with a different level of creativity and football design, right? and then you can interchange things based on the athletes that you have. So it just and then you've also seen spots over the last 5 years where that particular offense has been installed, and it's changed the trajectory of college teams.
Oh yeah,
like you saw with TCU the one year where the what was my man Dykes is the coach, right?
yeah,
Right. Mm-hmm.
First year on the job, has like a backup get the job and get all the way to the college football final.
yeah.
So like and that one because of nothing but Mike Leach's offense, for real. But
Well, Mike Leach is the GOAT.
Somebody else's name was on it as far as the coach. But in regards to this game, I know you said Jimmy Horn. I like Will Sheppard. Will Sheppard has been a go-to target here the last few weeks for Colorado. He got some problems with drops, but it seems like every time he drops a pass, something good happens on the next play. And literally, he dropped one against Colorado State. Next play, they tied the game on a Hail Mary. He dropped one like the next week. The very next play, he scored a touchdown. So I'm willing to rock with his yards. I like him up to about 50 yards. Can't get the alternates yet on the books, but I definitely like Will Sheppard to perform well tomorrow.
He went to my high school.
Did he? Pretty interesting.
Not while I was there. I'm way older than him, but yeah.
I'm a fan of his game. I think his game is it's great for teams that play man coverage. If you're going to play man coverage against Colorado, they're going to get opportunities if their offensive line can hold up. And I think that's when you see them run pure spread concepts, that's what it is. It's that you can't defend that receiving core one-on-one. The problem is, will Shedeur have the time to deliver the ball to them? Because they're going to get open. It's just will the other, and also the defense at Colorado has been much maligned, but their defense has actually played phenomenal football all season. We could talk about yards and giving up yards, and bending, but they haven't broken down. They played, and also in every game this season they played better in the second half, except for Kansas State when they had that crazy breakdown right after scoring a touchdown. But outside of Kansas State, the defense has played very well in the second half of games, even in the loss against Nebraska. So give me Colorado with the points to cover the 4. And also I'm going to take I love Will Sheppard as a standalone prop in the game.
Okay, I like it. Over 62.5, by the way, Brett. And that's, I mean, come on, bro. We can cover that. Like Colorado.
That's easy. I mean, Texas Tech has been covering 62.5 for decades.
Yes, since we were in elementary. Yes. Come on. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. We'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Okay, let's go back to our wheelhouse. I'm sorry, we got too far away from the station. We're back. I want to show you guys something, and I know you've seen it. So let's show the whole world. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this. This is not your grocery list. This is not your laundry list. This is not any other list other than the injury report for the old Mississippi Rebels. Okay. I'm pretty sure that is 26 names, as our guy Pete Thamel says. 26 names. Now, I have a theory, and I heard this theory on the Cover 3 podcast, so I can't take full credit for it. I think Lane gets out of the faking the injury thing by saying, hey, put him as questionable.
They're all hurt.
Probable. Yeah, he's hurt for real. He played through it. He's a tough, gritty guy. I think that's what he's doing here. So he's playing games. I mean, Lane is the ultimate troll. We all know Lane by now. So having 26 guys on the injury report is absolutely ridiculous. We're going into this game as a Georgia fan. I said I was going to, comment on the Carson Beck thing. You all see what the line is. It's at 2.5.
It's a disrespectful line to Georgia.
I can't say it's disrespectful, Brett, because the quarterback wants to throw 3 interceptions every game. I know,
but you're Georgia. Like, that's a disrespectful line.
I have no idea how we scored 34 points last week. No clue. I was out and about for Halloween, so I was on the phone with it, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit. But how the fuck did we end up scoring 34 points? And it was 13-6, like mid-third quarter. So I don't get it. But I mean, when I'm going into this matchup, I'm looking at it like this. Okay, Pete Golding, I've always respected him as a defensive coordinator. He needs to learn what Uber is, but he's a good defensive coordinator. Okay, so I do think that Ole Miss's defense is very good. All right, but I think Ole Miss's offense is going to struggle when your leading rusher or your second leading rusher is your quarterback. Well, technically, he's going to be the leading rusher because their leading rusher is not going to be playing in this game. So, I mean, this line is disrespectful, like I was saying, because the quarterback for Georgia keeps throwing interceptions. And in a road environment against Ole Miss, I mean, you know, Lane is going to complain that it's not a night game, whatever. Shut up, dog. You don't have a fucking home environment like any of these other schools do, especially not no fucking LSU. How dare you? Anyway,
Lane is just a bitch. That's all it is.
he wants to cry about everything, dog.
I
Like, come
kind
on,
of
guys.
love Lane. Like, if you ask me to pick, like Brian Kelly pulls a Mike Leach and ejects from this world today, who I want, like probably give me Lane. Like, I think Lane kind of is sneaky the best person to bring in, and I still kind of hate Lane. Like, Lane is just a little baby, but he might be the best available guy out there.
Yeah, I mean, I see why Nick used to cuss his ass out. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely see why Saban used to cuss his ass out.
Oh
'Cause
yeah, he's such a prick.
I imagine what he's like behind the scenes. Like when he's on the cameras, he's trying to be on his best behavior. So imagine when,
Banging
like,
boosters' wives.
hey,
in
allegedly,
Alabama.
allegedly,
I don't know how
allegedly sponsors.
I'm willing,
Allegedly
I'm willing
sponsors.
to not go allegedly there.
Look, I am for the money, allegedly.
That's
So
fair.
we'll start with you. I mean, I just just give me your opinion on the game. I'm tired. The Georgia Bulldogs exhaust me, to be honest.
Am I you? Am
Yeah.
I you? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
This is just a game that you have to take Georgia. You take Georgia, you close your eyes, and you say, it's like, give me Kirby Smart. Until Lane wins a big game, I just will not bet him to win a big game. The biggest game he's won is against LSU last year, where it's like, fuck, man, you still gave up 49 or 48.
You're never betting on him ever then. You're never going to bet on him ever because he's never, ever going to win a big game. And you're never going to trust him to win a big game because he's a bitch.
I'm with you. Yes. Yeah. So it's like there's just you. I always look at this, and it's probably the dumbest thing to do as a bettor. But I always look at it as like, if I bet Ole Miss and Georgia beats the shit out of them, I'm gonna feel so fucking dumb that I just gave money to this. That's like I'd rather just ride with Georgia. And it's like, if Ole Miss, congratulations. Like, I'll tip my cap to you if you beat Georgia and do it. But it's like, I'm not trusting that.
Yeah, I feel you. I definitely feel you. And I mean, I just don't see any value in taking Ole Miss at 2.5. Like, if you're gonna do it, you might as well take the money line. Like, you might as well. If you're gonna win, you better win big on this one. So, Sam, how you feeling about this matchup?
Without Trey Harris, I find it very hard. I find it hard for there to be a path for Ole Miss to win. I do think there's going to be some points. I think we've seen Georgia's defense is susceptible to giving up some big plays. Over is only at 55, so I'm going to take that as the my official play. And you all have talked me into taking Georgia. The 2.5 is just.
It does get interesting if Ole Miss can go up 14 or something, and then it's like, hey, Carson, go win the game, buddy. Like, then I can tell you it might get interesting. But that's just I think Georgia is going to do what Georgia does and put out the better team 99.7% of the time and just out-athlete you.
Yeah, I feel you. Sosa, how you feeling? You got anything on this one?
I told motherfuckers that Carson Beck was dog shit at the beginning of the year, and people looked at me funny. I had someone accuse me of being racist. I said he looked stupid.
Against ugly people?
I said he looked like the corny dude who ended up with a Confender twin after she done got passed around by all the homies. I'm right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I said that out loud.
Yo,
Yes,
bro,
you-
chill.
Yeah, you were on mute.
Oh shit. I knew what I was saying. Come on, man. You know I don't give a fuck. Listen,
He drives a Harris, man. Come on.
Listen, I don't care. Like, every kid with an arm sleeve and who listens to rap is not a good quarterback. All right. I just got to throw it out there. I think Beck sucks.
I'm a full believer in like you can't have full up tattoos and be a legit quarterback. Like it's my most Colin Cowherd take
You
of
might
all
be
time.
right. You might be right. That's why
But
I
it
said
just
it.
doesn't happen.
It doesn't. It doesn't. You can't. He's not lying. You've never seen a tattoo that was blasted.
Yep.
Point him out.
They always are like sick high school players. They come in with a sleeve and you're like, that dude looks tight. And then they're just not that good.
Yeah, and they were probably like 16 when they got those tats. Like, yeah, where
When
are
I
the parents?
use that as a reason, when I use that as part of the reason why I didn't fuck with Carson Beck, people just looked at me crazy. This guy gets it. You can't it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, man.
I'm fully like I'm one of those people that used to just read message boards. Like I am deep in the dungeons of the internet, so I am totally with you. Like I have wild Cowherd type takes like that.
We grew up on the tiger dropping streets.
it molded me.
I just don't think again. Like I'm gonna believe in Kirby Smart. And that's like you said. You put your money on Kirby Smart. And if Kirby don't walk out with a victory, he's going to have to explain to everybody how he lost to Lane Kiffin. And then that won't be my fucking problem.
I mean, I know it's
good TV, though, if it does happen.
I know it's easy to make fun of, but they like keep posting this stat of like, hey, by the way, guys, if Georgia doesn't play Nick Saban, they've won like 50 fucking games in a row.
Hold on, Frank. Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that. Can y'all please stop posting that stat? And I tweeted that last week too.
It is funny. Like it is so easy to make fun of Georgia there, but
that's like saying, oh, Craig is 50-0 of against non-Debo opponents. Like, why? That's showing that you're not the man. Like, it's showing that you're not the man for real. So stop.
But if you can, like, if you take your internet glasses off, though, like, it is kind of really impressive to be like, well, they just take care of business, and it's kind of like the James Franklin thing, except like he loses to like 2 or 3 teams a year like that, but. I don't know, man. Until Georgia starts losing these games, I'm just not going to bet them to lose these type of games.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I mean, look, man, we'll see. I'm not excited about this game at all. This game is going to be absolutely disgusting. Rain in the forecast in Oxford this week, so I got the under 55 as an official play. Again, Jackson Dart is the leading running back, so I mean, I have to take his rushing over 22.5 yards. I mean, who else is going to run the ball? So I got that as official play as well. And look, I've been so awful picking Georgia this year on the show. I have. I'll admit it to y'all, and I apologize, but I'm doing it again. I mean, on the big spreads, I'm not going to do it anymore. But this small spread, 2.5, I think they cover that. So that's just my opinion. Those are my 3 only plays. Anybody else got anything else before we move to the big one?
No. Give me LSU Bama. Bring it.
All right. Asking you shall receive. So, Bama coming off a bye, LSU coming off a bye, meeting again in Tiger Stadium. We all know what happened in 2022. The field was stormed. Mason Taylor was a hero. Jaden Daniels, the legend of him, started to grow and grow and grow. So I look at this game and I look at Alabama, and obviously, there's been rumblings that Jalen was hurt, in the South Carolina game, and then that's why he's been looking so porous. But
sure,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, cool. But I genuinely think that time off will give this Bama team a little ammunition, and I think it will prepare them for this game. But I say this all the time on the show, man. At this point of the season, you are who you are. We're not changing up. You're not going in and exceeding expectations crazy or, ducking down, type crazy. So, I mean, the line is a little tricky. I'm not going to lie. It's a little tricky. All right. LSU being a home dog, I took them against Ole Miss, and that worked out for me. So I'm leaning taking LSU again, plus 120. It might be a talk it out, but we'll start with you, Brett, as the guest. How are you feeling about this matchup going into Tiger Stadium?
It kind of, I hate it, but I am so confident that LSU is going to win this game. It has nothing to do. I think LSU and Alabama are very similar. Like they are flawed football teams. They're teams that have some good athletes that are better, going to beat most teams in the world. But if we're talking the elites of the elite, they're just kind of flawed. I think it's really the home environment. Like, it's going to be an insane crowd, and it's just Alabama. I'm just not sold on DeBoer. I know everyone wanted to crown him as like the GOAT, and before he even stepped on campus. It
You got
gives
a Tiger on
LSU.
the field again.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. It's so silly. But I really like LSU for mostly just because it's home. I think LSU is going to blitz their ass off and it's like tackle. They've been one of the better tackling football defenses that I've watched at LSU in a while, which is kind of insane to say considering how shitty we've been tackling in the last 3 years. So it's like, man, wrap up Milroe. Don't let the 17-year-old kid destroy you, and you have a really, really good chance. I think LSU is going to be able to score points on this defense. I think it's going to be close. LSU, every game they play is going to end up in the fourth quarter, and you don't know who's going to win, and you just got to pray that Nussmeier doesn't dagger you with some interceptions. But I like LSU in this game, man. I really do. I think it's a good spot for them in Bama season.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Sam, how you feeling?
I don't know if I'm as confident as Brett, but
It's just
think
vibes. No stats are behind this.
I think it's going to come down to the home environment again. Like we've seen the last few years, Bama is just a different team on the road. Like they lost at Tennessee, they lost at Vanderbilt, for God's sakes. I was just kind of looking through the game logs for Milroe in those games, and he was held to less than 15 yards rushing in both those games. I think there's some obviously sack statistics involved in that, but if you make him a pocket passer and don't let him get you on the deep ball, I think that's your best case to finding a path. I mean, you lost this game last year because it was you let him run wild. I think it was like 150 plus and 4 touchdowns against you. So I think you're going to be able to rattle him, get some pressure on him. LSU's been very good on the defensive line and kind of sending those blitzes and getting home to the quarterback. And I think the offensive line of Alabama is susceptible to that this year. So it's going to come down to Nuss. If he's the Nuss that played against A&M and Ole Miss, I don't love our chances. You got to stop turning the ball over and we need Nuss to have one of his best games. And I don't know where we run the ball or how we find a way to do it.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
Yeah. Just
LSU
can't
has no running game.
If they can run for somehow 100 yards in this game, I think it's a very easy win. I think you're not as good running the ball, obviously, as Tennessee. You don't have the running back or the offensive scheme that they have, but I think they were able to run the ball. Nico had some really good downfield shots that were open, and he just kind of
Bama's defense is not very good.
They're not. And I think I'm not going to give out a play. I think you all know by now my stance on giving out LSU plays on the stream, so not going to do that. I did look through some like touchdown props. Chris Hilton, the man, the myth, the legend. Is he an enigma? Is he real? Plus 245 to score a touchdown in the game. I like that play.
God, that's it. I thought you were going to give me a lot better number than that. That's insane.
I had to scroll down the list too. I mean, like they just don't have big numbers on college guys, and
that's
he's
crazy.
Not scored a touchdown all year, and he's still plus 245 to score.
I do think he's an X factor. I think he'll get some opportunities and probably be a little less rusty than the guy we saw jump in 5 seconds too early in A&M game. I really think he opens up the field. Like if you watch some of these plays that like even against A&M, the one that that Nussmeier ripped down the sidelines and Hilton had like no chance of catching, Aaron Anderson absolutely destroys his matchup in the slot. And it's like, I think Chris Hilton really does like allow this intermediate game that LSU and Nussmeier likes to do so much with Lacey and with Aaron Anderson. I think that could be a big factor in this game. So I do hope Chris Hilton's a guy who makes one or two of those plays, even if it's a pass interference. Just you taking the top off the defense, I do believe helps, because when you don't have a running game, you have to be able to at least like throw the ball short. And so I do think that Chris Hilton will play a big factor in this game, whether it shows up in the stat book or not.
For sure. I like it. Sosa, how you feeling about LSU and Bama?
I don't think Kalen DeBoer can afford to lose, bro.
Don't do it. I know.
Can Brian Kelly?
I don't think. I think Kelly can survive. I think Kelly can survive. He just got a Heisman winner. I think he can survive, brother. I think, and then like he could just blame it on Nuss. Like this motherfucker sucks. Like you could just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, like he's got options. Kalen DeBoer lose. Oh my God.
We're gonna be in front of his house
on the TV every Saturday. Oh Lord Jesus.
And Saban coming back to LSU too. Yeah, they're gonna be in front of his house.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like, I think y'all win the game because you're at the crib. But I'm also dead serious when I say I don't think DeBoer can lose another game this year. Like, if DeBoer loses another game this year, it's immediately like, was he the right hire? Is he the correct guy for the job? Like,
oh yeah,
I'm not kidding. Like the entire.
Oh, they already hate him. You lose to Vanderbilt, you are dead to a lot of people that live in that state.
That's what I'm saying. The Trey ball and season over before Thanksgiving. Bruh.
Imagine if they lose to Auburn.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Listen, and the guy that replaced you is on ESPN every fucking week. Oh, yeah, good luck, bro. I think LSU wins. I think like offensively, I think they'll be better. I like Milroe. Again, Milroe was a victim of circumstance. People were glazing pretty heavy when he was beating bad teams at the beginning of the year. He was performing very well. We're like, Kalen DeBoer's got this kid figured it out. You look at the tape, he still can't do a lot of the shit that we said he couldn't do entering the season at a high level or consistently, and that becomes the problem. Can he deliver the ball intermediate? No. At a high level, no. And the thing is, he's got better receivers this year than last year. Also, the defense, Brett said, about right, it's ass.
Yeah, it's not good.
This is not the Nick Saban defense.
Don't let the Missouri game fool anyone.
Yeah, it's not.
No, Missouri is the biggest frauds in America, like without question. Now that they're like 25th, like maybe not. But when they were hanging out at like 10, it was like, this team sucks. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So, and look, this is how I look at Nuss. I see so much Brett Favre in Nuss. It's crazy. He's got the arm. He's got the pocket presence. He's pretty smart pre-snap.
Does he commit fraud?
On the football field.
Not yet.
For people in Mississippi.
He commits fraud on the field all the time.
There's never been a throw in the history of football that Nuss didn't think he could make, and that's the Brett Favre mentality, 100%.
Exactly. So that he's gonna have 2 or 3 throws probably in this game where you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Definitely his father's son.
Look, quarterback coach's son. Telling you gotta watch out for them dudes. They were breeded to be like that early on in their lives. So I'm not surprised. But like I said, I mean, look, if I got good things to say about LSU, best tailgate in America. I don't care where
Dean's jersey too. Shout out game day guest picker.
Come on now, like it's the best tailgate. Only place where we can be bumping Rob 49 and drinking Four Locos at 7 a.m.
Do we know yet?
Skeens and Livy Dunn.
Oh, look at him. All right.
Someone asked me, I don't know. I didn't know the answer. They said, is this the first time a current student has ever been the guest picker on game day with Livy Dunn? I was like, holy shit, that's a good point.
I think it might be.
There's just no way they've right? Like the only one I can think of is Bregman for LSU, but he was with the Astros by the time he was guest picker. That's like the closest one like I've come up with. That's someone that was almost a current but current athlete or student.
You mean to tell me Ben Simmons didn't do it? I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to. My fault.
Ben Simmons was on campus to go to PMAC.
The pride of LSU, brother. What are we doing? Y'all claim him still, right?
There is no discussion about basketball ever.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Ever.
That's absolutely fair.
You know it's bad when everyone acts like they're like all into the women's team. It's like, guys, you're not watching this. Let's stop the tweets. Like, come on.
Hey, man, you should have never
So-
fired Will if you ask me.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, we'll
I
have
am
that little
probably
thing
the
tomorrow.
only LSU fan that I know that like genuinely cares about men's basketball, and that's just because of me growing up in Indiana. Like it's all we knew was.
I'd rather find a $20 bill on the street than LSU win the SEC basketball championship. Like that means nothing to me.
They're not. Come on, man.
I don't care. Like, great. I if they had a good team, cool. If not, that's fine. Like it
That's how I
it
feel
means
about
nothing.
Georgia basketball.
I mean,
That's
listen,
exactly.
you bought a championship in baseball first year at NIL. So I
Yeah.
want to see what y'all are going to do here in the next couple of football. That's all.
I mean, I fuck with when Ant was there. You know what I'm saying? That was cool. You know, KCP, that was cool. But so
You brought up the whole like Brett Favre Nussmeier thing, and I wanted to bring up because you talked about DeBoer. I see so much less miles in Kalen DeBoer, and I know that that's been a take floated out there on the internet before. It's not my own take, but
Chill out, Moscona.
You know
is Moscona big? I can't listen to Moscona. Moscona
He
drives
scares
me
me.
fucking nuts.
He scares me. I think DeBoer could be cut from the same cloth as Kiffin and Lincoln Riley. And this is what I really put a lot of thought into. And I think I talked about this last week. DeBoer's only worked with one fucking quarterback. He turned out to be like arguably the most accurate quarterback, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of college football by the time he got out. Right.
And also, yeah, he was like a 9-year. Like the dude was he was a 25-year-old playing with boys. Like,
He
come
played
on.
with 3 receivers and a tight end who all got drafted, 3 offensive linemen that got drafted. And listen, I like Kalen DeBoer. And I was sipping the Kool-Aid when who'd they beat earlier? They beat one team who'd they beat? They beat Georgia. They beat y'all. Right.
Yeah.
They beat y'all. But that's when we realized y'all weren't that good either.
Yeah,
So,
You did that.
everyone
you know,
sucks.
You did
right
that.
now,
Everyone sucks.
listen, I thought you guys might not have been good when I seen Kentucky giving y'all problems, right? But I gave y'all the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, all right, cool, tough SEC spot, tough place to play. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and then y'all spotted these motherfuckers 30, and I was
almost
like,
lost.
what the fuck am I watching? Like, what is this? Like, I never
Still
seen
should
that.
have lost.
Yeah,
it's just Jalen. It's 2 things. It's Kirby just does like quantum physics in the game planning. And bro, just if he runs for 600 yards, he runs for 600 yards. He's not going to score 6 touchdowns against you. Like just cover. And if he runs for 600 yards, he runs for 600 yards. Who cares? And then the other thing is Jalen plays out of his mind when he sees Kirby. His best games of his college football career have been in that SEC championship game last year and then in game 3 of this year. Like, that's the best he's looked ever.
And
ever.
the reason why I brought up that game is because prior to it, DeBoer's got an amazing record against top 10 ranked teams, against ranked teams, and it all looked good until Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And then after Vanderbilt, it was they lost to like the least talented Tennessee offense in the last decade.
Should have lost to South Carolina.
Yeah,
South Carolina tried so hard to give that game away, and Alabama still tried to give it to them. Like it was a no, please, sir, you. No. I insist. I insist. It was insane.
I will say this though: this is the weakest iteration of Josh Heupel's offense that we've seen. And what makes it
run
even
like
crazier,
5 plays. I just don't understand.
Well,
I don't
right.
know. That
But
shit doesn't make
here-
sense to me.
Here's the thing, though: it's the receivers aren't high level pro receivers.
Yeah.
They're not. And listen, the beginning of the year, we should have knew what was up because they kept giving the running back like 30 fucking carries. Like we should have knew what was up. We should have knew. Like we were like, they're just trying to get this guy reps so he can, get in the flow of things, and then they'll unleash the offense. And then you're like, ain't shit to unleash. These receivers are ass. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Nico is as good as advertised or believed to be. Maybe it'll be a little bit different next year when they put some real pro receivers around them. Maybe that'll be the case. But this is the weakest iteration. And the reason why I'm upset about it is because Tennessee actually has like the components on defense to be good if your offense can be fucking functional. The offense doesn't even have to be great. There has to just be good enough to where you can get the late game pass rush and put the quarterbacks in binds where they got to see 7 players in coverage, etc.
Yeah,
You feel me?
I mean,
That's not the case because the offense can't score. Nelson Aguilar just scored.
look, thankfully,
Nelson Aguilar.
I mean, look, thank God that Dylan Sampson, his rushing prop is at 127.5 this week, by the way. So that just goes to show. Thank God for Dylan Sampson, because they would not be where they at if it wasn't for him. So yeah, we'll see. But we've exhausted the LSU and Bama talk and SEC talk. So we're gonna go to best bets. Now, Brett, any game across the college football landscape, like we said earlier, we're doing this early, so we get you're going to see it on Saturday, so technically you won't get Friday bets, but still, how are you feeling about the slate? Do you have anything else you're looking at?
If you're going to make me pick a best bet, I'm going to scroll through these games and I'm going to pick the grossest, most disgusting line I can see. And that's Florida plus 22.5 at Texas. Why? Doesn't make any sense. They could lose by 100. The grossest bet on the board. Give me Florida plus 22.5.
Okay, all right. I got an even grosser one for you. Hold on, let me find it.
Oh, feed me. Because, dude, there's nothing I like more than the dumbest line in America. Like, it just feels so good because you feel like a sharp the entire day. Like, yeah, did you bet Florida? You bet Texas? And then all of a sudden it's 28-0 at the end of the first. You're like, yeah, I probably should have thought that one through. But all day you feel so good when you have one of those giant plus numbers.
That was me last week with Michigan. I was like, all right, 14.5 in the first half, sign me up. And these dudes are looking all right. And then it's just like, what the fuck? They just started.
You were also under the assumption for most of the day that game started at noon. It was a 9 o'clock body clock game.
Yeah, I was like, yo, the game, like the fucking book was trying to steal my bread. It even said noon on my phone. I'm like, yeah, this is some other shit. I can give my plays real quick.
Yeah, yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. We going Georgia minus 2.5. In Kirby Smart we trust.
Please, God.
We're going to go Clemson, team total over 30.5 against a Virginia Tech team coming off a loss. I think it's belt to ass. Kirby and them can't fuck around and lose another game. Every single game style points matter for them the rest of the way. They're going to empty the tank every week, try to score every fucking point. Losing to Louisville was just not on my fucking bingo card. I did not see that coming.
Got
handled.
Got that ass beat. Oh my Lord.
Talk about
Colorado.
I kept changing the channel. Like, this feels wrong. Right.
You kept changing the channel, like thinking like you turn it back and they'd be like, they'd figure it out. It's like,
it'll be 7 points by the time I get back.
Never fucking happened. I was like, what the fuck? Like, nothing. And it's like, I used to shit on Klubnik heavy. Like, I used to hate him, right? So like, this year he started hooping after the first game. I'm like, all right. But then you realize, well, Georgia's not as good as they were. So it's like, maybe that first game's not it. Last week, I want to slap the shit out of Klubnik. Lord Jesus, that was embarrassing. Colorado team total over 34.5. I also took their alternate up to 40 at a plus 196. Obviously, 34.5 round even money. It's not like Colorado off a bye. Obviously, I'm the biggest Deion fan on the planet. I gave my little speech last week about it. I know every SEC fan is very scared that he's going to end up in the SEC, but don't worry, he has no reason to leave Colorado.
Because Deion to the Saints, baby.
Because the same level of athlete, he can get the pull up to Colorado. He can get him to pull up anywhere he decides he wants to go. Straight up. And then the last two, I'm going chalk. Oregon minus 23.5. You got Maryland traveling across the country. They're a dumpster fire. Oregon should wax them, beat the shit out of them. I have no doubts in my mind. That should be about 56-12. Should be. I was actually
going to say that is. I found the grossest game on the board, and it would be taking Maryland. So if you want to throw Maryland on my imaginary card, feel free.
And then
hey, look, be USC.
My final play is going to be Notre Dame, team total over 34.5. What is there to say about Florida State? Absolute disaster. And I mean, like, they're terrible. They're fucking awful. So.
Yeah, you can sit crisscross applesauce on the field and watch the game for free. Like,
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
that is the grossest line on the board that I will not be taking.
20,
you can't take
23 and a half. 23 and a half
you just can't.
23 and a half sounds crazy, but it's like I gotta roll with it, bro. I think Oregon, Maryland's just in a terrible travel spot.
Oh, for sure.
And also, we talked about the travel has been a huge factor. It's just something that these West Coast teams and listen, these conferences in general did not think all the way through. Like Rutgers traveling to USC on a Friday night. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah. It is also bullshit that the Big Ten is not letting us have like late Oregon games and shit. Like, why are we not doing 8:30 kicks and like having that be the nightcap and stuff?
Hey, look,
because they still care about their core original crew of viewers.
I know, but
but just like I said, they didn't think it through.
Ohio State being at 8:00 is like the most easy thing to do in the history of time. It's like, well, it's only 6:00 there, guys. It's beautiful. Like, I don't know. It's like the entire world would flip over from the SEC game and enjoy yours instead of like you splitting it. Whatever. College football is just the best. Dumbest money maker in history.
Money talks. Sam,
worst run operation in the world.
I'm going with a little bit of a CVS receipt this time. You know,
okay.
We've had a couple good weeks back to back. We're feeling ourselves a little bit. Think we're seeing the board. We're going to heat check big time. Indiana minus 14.5. Indiana team total already gave that out. 33.5. Georgia over 55.5. Georgia minus 2.5. Colorado minus 4. Gonna go opposite of Brett. You see my dumb brain picks. Texas minus 21.5. So yeah, I mean, it feels too easy. Like, don't think Lagway is going to play. Even if he is, he's probably not going to be able to move very well. Yeah, don't like Florida in that spot. Ohio State.
I don't either.
Yeah, no. Ohio State minus 38.5. I think they're going to Purdue, which has been a little bit of a bugaboo for them in the past. But Purdue sucks this year. They are so bad.
Yep.
So give me Ohio State.
Oh no, they at the crib. They at the big.
It's at. I thought it was at Purdue as well. Yeah, it is at Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, it might be like a 44-0 game. Like, Purdue is bad.
Very bad.
I'm going to go Vandy plus 4 at home against South Carolina coming off an emotional win.
Love that.
Sprinkle the money line if you feel like it. Penn State minus 13.5. I know we don't believe in anyone on this show, but Washington coming across the country. A whiteout game, only have to cover 14. I think I like Penn State in that spot. Gonna go Miami minus 11 and over 64 in the Miami Georgia Tech game, and then finish it off with Iowa State minus 3. They play Kansas, but it's a small spread. They're coming off. They're gonna be locked in. I feel like after a loss last week. So yeah, give me that one to close it out.
Okay, all right, I like it. All right, well, I'll get into it, and we'll start with Brett said he wanted absolutely disgusting. So I'll give you absolutely disgusting. You know where we're going? We're not going to Oxford, Mississippi. We're not going to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're going to Raleigh, North Carolina. Duke and NC State. Yeah, baby. Give me the Dukies. Money line. Yes. I told you. I'm going absolutely disgusting, okay? I love the fight.
Basketball schools?
Yeah, I told you it was nasty. Brett asked for nasty, so I got nasty. Pause. Anyway, yeah, I paused it. Anyway, Duke money line plus 130 against NC State. They're fucking dead in the water, bro. I don't understand. NC State, they had a nice performance last week against Stanford, but let's be honest. They're in a dogfight with Cal. They just lost to Syracuse, okay? Wake Forest put up 34 on them. That same NIU that we were talking about at the beginning of the pod, they only beat them by a touchdown, all right? Give me the Dukies. I think
they beat them, though. But they beat them, though.
Anyway. Give me the Dukies, plus 130 on the money line. I really like that one. I'm going to be honest, but it is totally sick. I'm not going to tune in at all because I'll be ashamed if I do. And I know the number, 1-800-GAMBLER, anybody who's checking. Anyway, I got Oregon's first half. Huh?
Who's that number connect you to?
Hey, look, it connects me
Never called it. Never planning on calling it either.
Quitters.
Look, that's the only number that'll save me from watching Duke and NC State. Anyway,
how do you can't quit something and be great at it, bro? It's not how it works.
Yeah, every addict says that at the beginning. That's the first stage, brother. Don't worry. I got Oregon
addicted, I'm committed. There's a big difference.
There we go. It's Wizzle Man. Anyway, I got Oregon minus 14 in the first half, as Sosa learned the hard way last week. Oregon just beats the shit out of you for the first 30 minutes of the football game, and then they go chill. You know what I'm saying? They try on new Nike gear. They, wear some J's that you've never seen before. So
that's not true because they tried to cover last week. They ran
did.
the ball. They ran the ball in with like 25 seconds left. I respect the hell out
There's
of that.
nothing I respect more than a coach that knows the line. Nothing I respect more.
And you can always tell, man. You can always tell because you're like,
So you secretly like Lane Kiffin, don't you?
I love Lane.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
As Sam can probably
I
attest,
figured him out. I fucking knew it, man.
I have always thought Lane was a little bitch, and I like it, and I just like him. Like I can't help it. I cannot help it. I think everyone is just so quick to shit on
I get
him.
it, bro. I'm like that with Halle Berry. Like she sucks at acting, but she's so bad.
But gosh,
And I don't care. Like I just don't care.
Hey, look, man. That's how it is. But all right, so I got Georgia minus 2.5. Please don't embarrass me. I got the under. It's supposed to be raining in Oxford, so I got the under 55 in that matchup. Don't know why that line is so high. Maybe I'll look like an idiot. I got Jackson Dart over 22.5 rushing yards. Like I said, he's going to be the leading receiver. In Lubbock, I got Jimmy Horn Jr. for the Colorado Buffaloes going over his 36.5 receiving yards. And yeah, that's it for me. So if I have any more plays, I'll tweet them out on the page if something comes up. But that's it for me. And fuck it, man. Since Brett's on the show, LSU money line. If I'm the jinx, I'm sorry. But you know what I'm saying?
You've been good luck so far.
I have.
Keep
I'm
it
1-0.
rolling.
No, I think I'm undefeated picking LSU.
I would not mind seeing a bunch of fire Kalen DeBoer tweets around 11 p.m. Eastern.
my
That'd be
God.
fucking great, bro.
I'm gonna sign up for so many Bama message boards if LSU gets a W. Like I'm gonna spend all night just refreshing Twitter. Like I'm probably gonna make a burner and just
smoke
go
a cigar,
to town.
cackling.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to town.
It's
And
gonna
I
be
will-
glorious.
And I'm watching ESPN 2 because as soon as Feinbaum comes on that screen, oh boy, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. Okay.
I mean, he shows up and his ears pop out like 5 minutes later.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying.
They have their own area code.
Bigger Paul. But we want to appreciate Brett for joining the show today. Brett, please tell the people where they can find you. Tell them about the pod. Tell everything you got going on, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys inviting me on. Obviously I check in on Twitter's on Saturday morning. I normally pop in the live stream, see what's going on in here. And as I'm doing my stuff, getting kids ready for soccer. So I appreciate you inviting me on. My Twitter handle is @potofgold. If you want to check it out, this isn't live, so I will about to go live here in a few minutes on our channel. It's just me and one of my best friends. We just talk LSU football. That's it. We just hang out, try to troll, and just bitch and moan and think LSU is great.
Couldn't give a better Saturday plan, man.
We got people here that do that too. So come on, you're welcome, bro.
You're lucky we're not live today, because trust me,
Not the
saw it on
bitch
screen.
and moan part, just
I've been listening to Brett and Mike for a long time. They are very like-minded to me. I agree with most of their takes. So I love listening to the show. It's a great show. Every LSU fan should listen.
I appreciate
There
it.
we go. There we go.
Is Will Campbell the best offensive lineman prospect ever?
It's
I
one of
have
those
to ask
things.
before we get up out of here. I have to, because I've heard people say this.
No, he's really talented. Honestly, I've been disappointed in the offensive line as a whole. We've been told how good they are, and they're fine. Like it's not bad. LSU's had way worse lines. Will Campbell is really good. Is he Andrew Whitworth? I'm not positive that, but he's super athletic. He's really good. My problem is LSU feels like for a lot of my life, LSU would bully teams. It's like, man, we probably couldn't throw the ball that well, but we are going to bully you. And it feels like more often than not, LSU's on the receiving end of the bullies in the last few years. And that's like my biggest issue.
Okay, so you're smoking out, not Debo. Got it.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man. This is what it is. All right. So thank you, Brett, again for joining, brother. You can find us at Paid for Play. Please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube. Like the video. If you don't like the video, you are hating. Sam at Dumb Brain Picks. He's going to be live at Indiana. Catch him on TV. Look for him on the screen. Sosa at Sosa Picks, giving you everything from the NFL to the NBA to the NHL to college football. So we appreciate you as well, brother. We'll be back next week. Another big game for me. Good Lord. Having the number one fucking schedule in the country is fucking exhausting. Because every week.
Shut up.
Shut up. Megan Cross. This is that crybaby bullshit. Like,
had the easiest SEC schedule for so long.
Oh
just
God,
hiding out in the East.
Yes.
Hiding in the East, where it's like, oh, we have to play Florida. Oh, like fuck.
We haven't been.
We went 15 years without having to play Bama as a cross.
It's crazy.
Division opponent, but
gosh, oh my gosh.
If you don't know who Dennis Francione is, don't speak to me.
That's
how I test if you're really
The
a
franchise.
Bama fan. Like, listen, if you really want to know if somebody's a Bama fan, ask him who the fuck was the coach before Saban.
Oh no, they don't know nothing. They don't, bruh. Tell you, they don't know nothing about them years. They don't know about the darkness for real. And by the way,
was it Mike Shula?
It was Shula. I'm almost positive it was.
I don't even know. I'm asking.
That was my first.
I don't even have the fucking answer to.
That was my first reaction. I'm almost positive it was because they had that old guy before that I'm not going to be able to come up with his name. And they fired him, and they're like, Shula's a legacy. It's perfect for Bama. And then they actually were like, you know what? Let's just go get Saban.
Oh, you're talking about Mike
positive.
Price?
Yes, that's who I'm. Yeah, Price, DeBose.
They don't know about the Gene Stallings era, man. They don't know nothing about that shit.
Bruh.
Anyway,
they don't.
And by the way, we haven't played at home since October 12th. By the way, just want to put that out there. We haven't played at home in a month. All right. Then before then, we hadn't played at home since September. All right. Anyway, enough of my spiel. See y'all later. Deuces, man.